Our purpose today is to honor the magnificent relationship that has developed over the last 5 years between NAPA and New England's racing legend, Stub Fadden. When we thought about what we would do today, we kept remembering the line from the old Joni Mitchell song, "We're captive on the carousel of time." We can't return. We can only look behind from where we came. And go round and round and round in the circle game. We've all heard Stub speak. You know, his humor, his clever twist of phrase. But today, we should tell Stub something about circles, something he needs to learn. On St. Patrick's Day of this year, while being interviewed about his farewell tour, Stub said, "You know, I was born in North Haverhill, and I've been in the same house and garage for over 40 years. I guess when you're going in circles, you don't get to go too far." We think Stub has that one flat out wrong. It's not, of course, that Stub doesn't know about going in circles. His remarkable driving career has taken him through 4 decades of racing. In the 60s, he began on tiny dirt and asphalt tracks near North Haverhill. Meeting immediate success, he graduated quickly from flathead coupes into full-bodied late-model cars that became his specialty. With wife Charlotte and son Alvin always in tow, he began to widen the radius of his racing circles as the sport grew in the 70s. In neighboring Vermont, New York, and Canada, the Fadden racing team racked up the wins with a dogged consistency. In the 80s, he was a founding member of the field as NASCAR launched the regional tour we know today as Busch North. By 1993, at 60 years of age, Stub had accumulated over 200 feature wins. To anyone else, this would have been the full Monty. But with Stub Fadden, the circle game was just beginning. In the fall of 1993, a huge announcement was made at the NAPA Marketing Conference.
Aside from viewing many NAPA product lines, there was something else on that weekend agenda, and that was the official announcement of NAPA New England as the major sponsor for the Fadden Automotive Busch Grand National North race team for 1994. Now known as Team NAPA, the Fadden racing people were very excited about this major sponsorship announcement.
I mean, we're going to be the focus, you know, on the whole thing because it is our race team, and we do own a NAPA Auto Parts store, NAPA Auto Care Center, and I think it's going to help the whole NAPA family, hopefully.
Early in September, we got together to discuss plans for promotional opportunities in 1994, and Alvin and Stub attended the meeting, made a great presentation to the group, and at that meeting, without any further discussion or really time to consider, it was an overwhelmingly accepted proposal. And we went with it for 1994, and we couldn't be happier or more excited about the opportunities it's going to give us and Fadden Racing next year.
And very soon, Stub's circles began to surround the NAPA community. The NAPA car was probably the first race car to be ferried to Martha's Vineyard to greet fans, NAPA customers, and NAPA personnel. And the Faddens began traveling to stores all over and touched some NAPA friends we will no longer see. As this special relationship grew, Stub's circles were growing wider and wider. And there was, of course, the constant racing, lap after lap, in the NAPA Blue Chariots throughout NAPA's marketing territory. There has always been family in the middle of the NAPA Fadden revolutions. Everyone knows Charlotte and her enthusiastic presence, always centering on Stub. The bonds also grew across generations, as Alvin's nephew, Mike Olson, himself became a respected Busch competitor.
Grandfather and grandson, Stub Fadden and Mike Olson, race side by side in the middle of the pack.
Stub and his grandson have many times played the circle game together, and in a very spirited way. But the warmth has not been just with family. It has to be that at least one happy kid has sat in the NAPA car for each of those thousands of laps it has turned. There have been kids of all ages. And Stub has been a patient hero to those who could never play the circle game. So many such things caused Stub's fame to grow.
And here is Stub Fadden. Up on the outside, Going around to Bob Brunel for another time. They'll come to the checkered flag this time. They're into heavy lap traffic. This could make for an interesting finish. Here they come off the fourth turn, and Stub Fadden will win it.
In 1997, New England-wide Fox TV featured Stub as Sunday's best.
But this week we have a story about a man named Stub and his remarkable run of more than 3 decades on the racetrack. He is our Sunday best.
It has been during this last year, though, that Stub circles reached full breadth. National publicity about the farewell tour came through TV shows such as NASCAR's Race Week.
Welcome back to NASCAR Race Week. One of the all-time greats in New England racing is New Hampshire's Stub Fadden. Let's take a couple of minutes to introduce you now to the star of the NASCAR Busch North Series.
Stanley, Stub Fadden has been racing in the NASCAR Busch North Series since its current form began in 1987. But this veteran racer, who's 64 years young, has been in the driver's seat for more racing seasons than that. So in this, his 37th year of competition, what exactly is his edge on the younger drivers?
There's no fool like an old fool. I think I'm 30 years old, so I don't picture myself any different than them guys. I just like to be one of the racers and try to do the very best I can and be competitive.
Currently 9th in points, Stub has finished in the top 10 in points 8 out of the 10 years, and the last 7 years straight. But like in all racing series, changes take place.
We had to recoup a little bit when Frankie started, left our team, went down to be crew chief with Jeff Burton. But we've come back and we're working good together, and everybody tells you it's a chemistry thing, and it definitely is, because everything has to go as you want it to, or you're not competitive. So we're getting back on track.
It may be harder to give up racing than he thinks. Stub never quite intended on being around this sport for 4 decades when he started.
No, I sure didn't. I guess if I knew I was going to stick around this sport this long, I'd have kept some statistics, but I didn't, because I thought, well, every race was going to be my last one. But.
And then, just last month, Stock Car Racing Magazine, the largest motorsports publication in the world, produced a major, highly flattering piece about Stub that was circulated worldwide. So, as we honor you here today, Stub Fadden, everyone seems to know how very far you have come. Everyone but you.
I don't intend to take something away from the guy that's not mine, but I don't intend to give him anything. You know, I'd like to be known as a competitive, but not a bully. I mean, a fair racer, like Bobby Dragon and Dave Dion and those guys that I've raced with for years. You know, they're still friends of mine, even though we bump fenders now and then. So I hope they think as much of me as I do them.
All of us who have been part of your huge circle now speak to you. The Dave Dions, the Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, the NAPA community, the fans, all want you to know how special you are and how far you have come.
Oh man, take a look at my life, I'm alive like you.
His eyes have seen thousands and thousands of miles of track. 36 of Stub Fadden's 60 years have been dedicated fully and completely to these speed machines. He is New England's most seasoned senior racer.
But I think that makes it even a little bit more fun for me to challenge to do something maybe I'm not supposed to do. I don't know. But I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it.
Every year, the faces around him get younger. Sponsorship comes from some unlikely places, and technology takes his sport a step further.
In my early days, there wasn't any racing parts available. You had to make them or modify something existing or go to the junkyard. Now, you can buy anything you need to make it go fast. Okay, we're getting ready to roll now.
Speed has always been the name of this game. 130 miles per hour happens.
Well, I try not to get emotionally burned out, because you can mentally drag yourself out just by being too tight, too wound up.
Perhaps that's the key to Fadden's tremendous track tenure. Stub will tell you it's simpler than that. He's just having a lot of fun.
How much longer are you going to do this?
Well, at least today, that's about all I can tell you.
Living day by day, right?
Yeah, really.
I've been first and last. Look at how the time goes fast. But I'm all alone at last, rolling home to you.
And it is now our pleasure to present you with your ride for the next 4 decades, so that you can always go round and round and round in the circle game.